Greetings, fellow alumni. We are here at Rose Alumni House, and we are excited to be shooting Season 2 of Yale Afternoons with Alison, a series where we bring university leaders to Rose Alumni House to talk about their priorities and alumni engagement. Today, I'll be sitting down with Pippa Jack, editor of the Yale Alumni Magazine. Pippa Jack, welcome to Rose Alumni House.
Hi, Allison.
I'm thrilled to have you here. It's been a pleasure having you at Yale for the few short months you've been here, but we are going to dive in and let our alumni get to know you, know
Wonderful.
your vision for the magazine, and how they can help you accomplish some of your goals.
Great.
I know I was part of the interview committee, but tell us a little bit about what enticed you to come to Yale.
I think my story is like a lot of other non-alums who have ended up working here. Like, as I've talked to people, I feel like it's kind of a familiar story. I was working with people who were working at Yale, at various capacities, maybe on a board with, and in particular, my predecessor at the magazine, Catherine Lasilla, who, of course, just wonderful person, wonderful editor. And there was just something that really struck me as different about the way that she talked about her job and the way that she talked about Yale. We would be in a room of magazine editors, and all of us, of course, love our jobs, but the way that she talked about Yale was just qualitatively different, and it struck me. And over the years, I just became kind of curious.
Yeah.
Yale curious.
Yeah, I love that.
And but it wasn't until I found out more about the job that I really got excited. It's a combination of things. Obviously, it's the amazing history that the magazine has. I've been familiar with it for a while through my professional life, and the writing and the art, the photography are just top notch. But it's also one of the oldest alumni magazines in the country, but I think also one of the oldest
magazines, period.
Yeah, period. And so there's this amazing history and stewardship, but it's also at a moment, as you know, a moment where things probably are going to change. It's doing lots of things right, but it's been a while since we're overdue for a design refresh. The website is, I think, to say that it's overdue for a refresh is a kind way of putting that. And then that's, if we are going to take seriously stewarding, this historic title, we really need to think hard about how it's going to evolve digitally and how we can meet readers where they are in the digital spaces. And so I think it's a really interesting moment. It's full of possibility and promise. And honestly, it's just kind of electrifying. I feel like it is the opportunity of my professional life, and I'm so glad to be here.
I love it. No, I think you're starting to creep into our next question, which I'm really excited to dive into with you, which are, what are your, say, top 3 priorities in this short period of time? Okay,
so top 3, in no particular order, I think the first one is just to really continue to get to know Yale. I mean, there's the faculty, there's the people, there's the students, there is the built environment. There's the history and the way that Yale and this country have kind of grown up together and influenced each other along the way. And then there's just the alumni community. And I just, I've been trying to talk to as many people as I can.
Incredible job.
Just scratching the surface. But, I could spend the rest of my life doing it, and I hope I do. There is this thing that's really struck me about Yale alumni. They are invested in the institution in a way that I have not seen before. There's this sort of pride of ownership. They want to make sure that things are in good hands. And I feel like that portrays a kind of a level of investment that it lends the alumni body this kind of cohesiveness, even though everyone I've spoken to has been completely different in every way you can imagine. But they have this thing in common. And I'm sure it's not the entire alumni body, but it's almost 200,000 people who care deeply about Yale. And that is exciting to me because it means that the magazine has a serious role to play. Like, we really have a function. And that's the most exciting aspect of it, I think. So, top 3 priorities: continue to get to know Yale and its alumni body, so that we can reflect it. That's so we can report on Yale for the alumni and help this as a wider community kind of figure out what we value, what we stand for.
Yes.
Because, I mean, this is a community that has the power to change everything, to change the world. And then there's figuring out the path forward. We've talked about that a little bit right now. Don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Want it. I personally love print. It's a sort of, from a craftsperson angle.
Yes.
The way that you can play with pacing and surprise and delight readers with the turn of the page. I love it. But it's not, almost certainly it's probably not the only place we need to be.
Right.
And we need to safeguard our resources, because this is a strange moment.
Yes.
But, the endowment tax is going to hit Yale really hard, and we want to make sure we're making careful choices and that they're grounded in real data. And so, in order to get to know Yale and in order to figure out a path forward, we really need to talk to alumni.
Yep.
So that is my big goal for the year.
Yeah.
I think, we've getting assistance from an amazing group of people under the leadership of the School of Management who are helping us figure out the questions for a survey so that we can kind of answer not just what alumni like to read, how they like to read it, where they want to read it, and also really think about where the magazine might fit in their lives. So I think we may also try to include some questions about how they read other things so that we can figure out like which platform is best for what kind of thing, and how can we make the magazine the best it can be for this community.
Yes.
Not what other magazines are doing.
Yep.
What makes it best for Yale.
Yeah. I think it's such a unique community and a unique challenge for you in that, when you think about perhaps other publications, they're not trying to reach people who are 22 to 92,
right.
And absorb their information in such a vast, different way. But you said something earlier that really struck me was like the sense alumni feel over like ownership of the place and protection of the place. And I do think every alum wants to leave Yale better than they found it.
Yes.
And better than they found it may still mean 25 years after they graduated. So they're invested in the current state of the university. And we learned from our alumni listening that the magazine is still a very vital way that they receive that information. So
yes.
I'm looking forward to where we end up on this.
I couldn't agree more. I was talking to an alumnus. He's a retired public health practitioner in New Hampshire. I was talking to him a couple of weeks ago, and he told me a Jewish phrase: "It is not yours to finish the work, but neither is it yours to put it down." Oh. And I feel like that's something that we're all engaged in.
Yes.
We're not going to solve everything.
Right.
But we can't turn away.
Yes, I love that.
And I feel that's something that unites the larger Yale community. And not to sound hokey, but to the extent that the magazine can serve not just as a communications tool between Yale and alumni, and between alumni and a forum for alumni to communicate with each other, to the extent that we can sort of amplify that effect of cohesiveness and purpose, I feel like the magazine can help further Yale's mission of making the world a better place.
Yeah, without a doubt. So we talked about getting to know alums.
Getting to know alums, getting to know Yale. And then I think really it's just the day-to-day focusing on making a great magazine.
Yes.
And so we were talking about history, and, the magazine was founded in 1891 by student editors of the Yale Daily News. And they, at the time, they declared that it was to be an organ to report solely for the benefit of the graduates on Yale. Now, it did that for many, many, many years, using, let's face it, is kind of an old communications technology. I mean, the idea that we're going to think of an idea, do some research, send out reporters, send out photographers, bring it all back, send it all to fact-checking, then finally, tie it all up with a bow, try to make every word perfect, which will never happen, but we try, and then send it all off to a printer who will spend literally over a month printing it, binding it, and sending it to alums. The idea that, this is a time frame where an idea that we have may not land on an alum's doorstep for months. It could be well over a year. So there's kind of a mind-boggling time frame to think about. So I think one of the things that we're going to think about operationally is whether we can sort of compress that.
Sure.
On if appropriate. And then there's the other aspect of things, which is the magazine operationally has is changing because, as you know, we just moved into YAA.
Yep.
So in 2015, the magazine became part of Yale because it was facing financial headwinds. And then last year, 2025, as I was starting, it became part of YAA. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say, I think, to any alumni watching, I know there's been concern about the magazine becoming a mouthpiece for the administration or a fundraising publication. We take very seriously stewarding this. It has won countless awards. It's broken important stories. It is a very important publication. We take its stewardship very seriously. I wouldn't know how to produce a fundraising publication. I don't know how to do it. And I think you've been very clear that that's not our role. But we are finding that being in YAA has been really great for us because we're able to find efficiencies. We're now part of a larger department, and our missions are so aligned.
Yes.
So I think it's an exciting place for us to be, and we're trying to make things a little more efficient and make a roadmap for the future.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that getting to know the alums is a big priority. So I'm about to ask, how can alumni engagement exist with these priorities? But I just elaborate more on like how alums can, how they can make themselves available to you.
Well, I think, so the first thing is we are going to roll out this survey.
Yep.
I really hope it's going to happen this year.
Yep.
And the most important thing that I would ask any alumni who sees this is if you see a survey come through from us, please give us a few minutes of your time and take it. We can't make a magazine that's as good as it can be for you without your input.
Yes.
So that's number one. And the other thing is, the magazine really, it really is a forum for alumni. And I can't tell you the number of times that we've heard from alumni, I haven't written a class note in 40 years. Yeah. And then I wrote one, and all of a sudden these classmates got in touch.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, reach out to your class secretaries, send us a letter to the editor, whatever it is. This could actually be a very small action that alumni could take that could spark real joy in their lives. So be part of it.
Yeah.
Be in touch.
I think you've been really open in the places that I've heard you speak about send us your ideas, send us your story ideas.
We're absolutely.
There's no bad idea, and everything will be good. But like you said, it's a magazine for the alumni.
Yeah.
And more alumni voices need to be seen in it.
Yes.
And so let's get the info.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of our features come from tips from alumni.
Yep.
But then there's also the places where alumni can just write in and have their voice, not filtered through us, be there on the magazine and distributed to all their classmates. And it just takes a minute. Send us an email.
Exactly. So can you highlight an alum who has done some great work on your behalf?
This is a tough one because honestly, every issue of the magazine is like a cooperative effort between us and literally thousands of alumni.
Yes.
There's 40 pages of class notes in every issue, so that represents hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of alumni and class secretaries' work. So we thank everyone that is involved in every issue, and I really don't want to single anyone out for that, but I would like to single out the people that came to our assembly listening session and have been in touch with us since then. It's really been the start for me of getting to know the alumni community and starting to think about what questions it is we need to ask to find out how to make the best magazine we can. And it's been really just wonderful to get to know people. So thank you so much to everyone who came.
Yes, and we'd be remiss probably not to shout out our new chair of the magazine advisory board, Robin Mendelson, used to be on the YA board, has stepped up in a wonderful way to chair the YAM board, and we're very lucky to have her. And she's done an absolutely incredible job helping to bring Pippa up to speed and really take the board in a new direction. So that's also excellent too.
Robin has a lot of ideas. She is really incredibly smart at seeing a path forward. Yep. And she's helping me assemble some more bodies, get some more bodies on the board. And we have a lot of work to do, and we're excited to roll up our sleeves.
It's going to be great.
Yep.
Okay, so now we get to the fun part and the questions we ask everybody. Do you have a favorite spot on campus already?
I totally do.
Okay.
I don't know how I've managed to become a creature of habit in only 5.5 months.
I love
think
that.
It's partly that I'm like exploring so much.
Yeah.
But my touchstone is Commons, and I know that probably sounds really obvious, but I just love everything about it. It's like the best place to meet someone if you want to meet someone for lunch. But also I go there when I want to be alone.
Yeah.
But also still feel in community.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I love that.
And the other thing is, it just really reminds me of the dining hall at my college at Oxford, Oriel.
Okay.
Only on a much, much larger scale, and frankly, with much better food.
Okay. The food is pretty good now. Yes. It's been favorite Yale memory? Am I too early?
No.
Or you've got, all right.
No. I've got one.
Okay.
I remember, I don't think I'll ever forget the moment that I first laid eyes on Sterling Memorial Library.
Okay.
Max took me for a walk on my first evening, and we walked up, and I saw Sterling, and it struck me. I just felt at home. I just thought, this is a place where the new worlds and the old world meet, where these different strands come together, and it just feels like the place that I want to be. And then the next day, on my way to the train home, I stopped by the Centre for British Art, and they had this magnificent Turner exhibit.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, if I don't get this job, I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to get to Yale. So thank you.
You're very welcome. We're very lucky to have you. That's great. That's a good Yale memory before you were even a Yaley.
Yeah.
All right.
I was like, please.
All right. Favorite New Haven pizza place?
My favorite pizza place is the place that I can walk to from my office. So that is Modern.
Okay. Modern's been the top one, I think, of this entire podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder
It's
why.
not my favorite. But it is definitely leading the pack of the guests that we've had on the show.
I want to put in props, not just for their pizza, but their Caesar salad is delicious.
Okay. See, where salad comes, when you're bringing salad into the question, you can't, there's no, bar salad is like, but I don't love, bar pizza's not my favorite. So I have to say, I'm an outlier. I like Nolo.
Where's
Nolo on State Street.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try
one of
it.
my
That's
favorites.
also walking distance from my office.
It is.
I'm duty bound to check it out.
To try them all. All right, last question for you.
Yeah.
Is there one item you've always had on your desk, from bringing from place to place that you have worked?
Yes, if I am at my desk, then so is my padded laptop sleeve.
Okay.
And this is because, number one, I am incredibly clumsy. I probably drop something every day, punnets of blueberries across the kitchen floor. Oh, yes, every morning. But also, I'm always on the move.
Yeah.
So that thing prevents me from going through a MacBook a week.
Okay. Well, Yale is glad that you have your laptop sleeve on the desk. Well, Pippa, this has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Alums out there, you are going to be hearing from her quite a bit. And so be ready to heed the call when she sends out the bat signal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.